He is best known for a dramatic victory in the Northwest's biggest race, but Chum Salmon was much more than an equine one-hit wonder. During a remarkable 29-race career, the son of Gaelic dancer from Saree by the Dude entertained fans with a thrilling come-from-behind style by rolling up 9 stakes wins during the 1984-85 seasons alone. The capstone, of course, would be one of the most memorable races in state history, the lone Washington-bred, dismissed at odds of 8-1, passing a wall of invading Californians and Canadians to win the 1985 Longacres Mile. Born March 2, 1980, and originally owned by a pair of Alaskan fishermen, Chum Salmon was sold to Randy Weber, Gerald Schneider, and Harold Hilgerman for $8,000 at a horses in training sale. The new owners hired 33-year-old Larry Ross as trainer. East Coast transplants, Ross and wife Sharon were rapidly gaining notice out west and were perfect for Chum. He was a big baby Huey. All he wanted to do was eat, Sharon Ross recalled. But he was big and handsome and every girl's dream of the black stallion. Chum Salmon began his racing career at age 3, finishing 8th at odds of 45-1 versus straight maidens at Longacres on July 3, 1983. It took 3 more tries and a drop into a $40,000 maiden claiming race for Chum Salmon to earn his diploma. He would finish his 3-year-old season 1 for 7, but a runner-up finish in the B. Marcus Proteca hinted at immense talent, and even as a 3-year-old, it was obvious Chum was a stone closer. Chum Salmon's foundation was built, and as a 4- and 5-year-old, he was the state's top handicap horse. He began 1984 with 5 straight wins, and also finished a creditable 5th in the Longacres Mile. And he proved amazingly versatile for a stretch runner, winning at distances ranging 6 furlongs to a mile and an eighth. Chum Salmon began the 1985 Longacres meet by sweeping the Memorial Day, Space Needle, and Independence Day handicaps. After a runner-up finish in the British Columbia handicap, Larry Ross chose to wait 6 weeks and bring Chum Salmon into the mile off workouts alone. The only Washington bred in the Golden Anniversary Mile race, and facing a star-studded field that included defending champion Traveling Victor and California Invader and 3-2 betting favorite MMM, Chum Salmon was dismissed at 8-1 odds. He also needed a rider since regular jockey Chris Loseth chose to stick with Traveling Victor, opening the door for Gary Bays to take over in the saddle. Together, Chum and Bays would make history in the Golden Anniversary Longacres Mile.
There's a gap of 5 to the Chum Salmon. Now going for the forward turn with Dear Rick now on the lead by 3/4 of a length. Distant rider in second by a head. MMM is in third by 2. Then you have Something Wonderful on the outside. Traveling Victor is along the rail. And Shrapnel. And look, the Chum Salmon is now closing ground. Then it's King Alphonse along the rail. The trailer exclusive bidder. And they run the half 44-4. Now down the lane they come with Dear Rick on the lead. MMM is in second. There's a gap of 3. And here he comes. It's Chum Salmon moving on the outside. Dear Rick has the lead. Chum Salmon is going to catch him on the outside. There's Chum Salmon taking the lead. He's Chum Salmon.
I thought about the quarter pole that I was going to be tough. I thought they were really going to have to run their eyeballs out to catch him, because when he's that close and they're within range, turn for home, he's tough. I had my eye on them top 2 horses, and I was gaining on them every stride. I knew they were history.
At the half-mile pole, he really looked good. You know, he was closing on the leaders, and he was just all down to business and not fooling around, and the pace was coming back to him a little bit, and he just, from there on in, it was go Chum go, you know.
We were just excited as not only the name, but the way the horse ran. Coming from behind, it was kind of our secretariat. The horse had rock star status coming out on the track, but the mutuals weren't showing it. Because if I remember right, the odds were about 8-1. And those of us who thought that the local horse and really loved Chum Salmon were very eager to bet on Chum Salmon, but we watched the race, and Chum Salmon was dead last, 15 lengths behind. And I remember I was standing there with Dennis Dodge, who wrote for the Racing Forum, unfortunately passed away a couple years ago. And he said, look at the fractions, Jerry, look at the fractions. And we were looking at pretty fast fractions. He said, watch Chum Salmon's got to move. And at the half-mile pole, Chum Salmon started to run. And Gary, I don't know if I can do the imitation, but Gary Hansen would say, and here comes Chum Salmon. And Chum Salmon made up the 15 lengths, won by a length and a half. crowd went crazy and folks cashed a 8-to-1 bet. But I'll tell you what, that horse was a champion and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, no question about it.
8 days later, Chum Salmon would have a curtain call, winning the Seattle Handicap by 2.5 lengths over Zulu Whiz. But it would be the final race for one of Washington's most exciting horses. A suspensory injury curtailed the title defense in 1986, but Chum Salmon would enjoy retirement at the Ross's Auburn Farm, where he frolicked with another Washington Hall of Fame runner, Military Hawk, before dying at age 25 in 2005. Tonight, Chum Salmon joins Military Hawk in the Washington Racing Hall of Fame.